we have 4 simple rules. Number 1, we don't discuss politics, ever. Number 2, this is not a religious channel, and while you might hear people say, God bless you, or I'm going to pray for you, or I wouldn't have gotten through this without my faith, that's fine. What's not fine is to say, my God is better than your God, or here's why you're not getting into heaven. It's not going to fly. Number 3, we believe wholeheartedly if you can't control your tongue, then you can't control your life. So while on board, there's not going to be any cursing in the live chat, period. And number 4, there is no room for mean people on the lifeboat. Because we discuss very sensitive things from people's past in our group setting, we got to protect those people. The only way they feel confident and comfortable discussing those things is in an environment that is free of trolls and mean people. So if you're a mean person or you're a troll, we're going to block you for life. And if your account happens to be less than 24 hours old, we're probably a little suspicious right from the word go. Why? Well, because there are people in this world who enjoy being cruel solely for the sake of being cruel. It's not going to fly here. But if you're here because you're trying to get sober and live your best life, then you might find that the lifeboat is just that, a lifeboat. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and we will see you on deck. Good evening, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and on the other side of the glass, my partner, Mark Wages, and you are on the lifeboat. Glad you're all here tonight. I really am. I want to go back here real quick because I think I saw a comment.
Everybody, while he's doing that real quick, I'll just let you guys know. We are, if you guys want to call in, I'm gonna pin it at the top of the live chat, a Zoom link or a number, and I'll post the link throughout the show in the chat. And so yeah, I wanted to point that out. And guys, please share the stream. It really helps. If you guys just take 1 second, you guys can hit at the bottom of your YouTube window, it says share. You hit that button and it gives you all kinds of different platforms you can share too. It's so easy to do and only takes a second. So it really does help. It really gets new people here that need help and all that. So if you would, I would really love that. And, the YouTube things, right, Tommy? The share, the hit the like.
That's right. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notification. And then anytime we go live, you won't miss us. M. Hunt, since it was up in the chat, I know you're feeling tough today. And smartest thing in the world you could do is talk about it and to get it out there. And you had left another comment that said, just makes you angry that you can't have 2 or 3 drinks, that it always has to be 20. And the defining characteristic of the addict is that it's not something we can control. The only way to win a fist fight with heroin, in my case, is to not get in a fist fight with heroin. Thank you, Brandon. He said, hit that like button too. That helps. It does. Helps the algorithm, to be sure. I'm a heroin addict. There is never going to be a time in my life where I could take 1 hit off tin foil. There is never going to be a time in my life where I could take 1 Vicodin. It's not how I am made. And truthfully, believe it or not, I got to a point where that just doesn't bother me anymore. But I remember the days where it would drive me insane. The concept that there were people out there that could just do it every once in a while, because I used to think, well, birthdays might be nice, or, maybe once or twice a year, or just when the pressure is so much that I just can't take it. I used to fantasize about that. But the truth of the matter is that once you cross that line and once you become an addict, there's no going back. And that just is the nature of the beast. I'm not trying to bum you out. I really am not. But that is the facts of who we are. And there's no way to reverse the clock on that. There really isn't. There is, however, power in knowing that you can't. And the other thing is, and we've talked about this on shows before, I can't speak to you. I can tell you I love you, but I can't tell you what's going on in your life. And that goes for anybody on the boat, right? I can't tell anybody on the boat what's going on in their life when it comes to stages of things. But having done this a minute, when it comes to me, if I'm fantasizing about just being able to do it every once in a while, I'm probably not in a great place. I'm probably in the process of heading in the wrong direction. But what he did is perfect. If you're heading in the wrong direction, come here and talk to people. Before I get rolling tonight, there's a couple of things that I want to say that I think are important. When Mark and I started the channel, we started the channel because we really wholeheartedly wanted to help people. We really did. We wanted to do anything within our power to keep somebody from becoming us, or heading down the same road that we started down and then finished, right? So that was the concept in the beginning. We've talked about it. Chili Mancer, Donnie, good to see you. We've talked about it a lot. We didn't expect to love the crew the way we do. Honestly, that was not something we ever expected. I certainly didn't. It was not something that I expected to happen, and it really has become very much of a family to me. That being said, there are times when love looks different, right? There is times when love is putting your arm around somebody and telling them, I'm here for you every step of the way. There is time when love is just looking at someone and saying, I have no idea what you're going through, but if you want to call me, I'm here. Or telling somebody, if you want to scream at the top of your lungs and go nuts, I'm not going to look at you like you're crazy. So if you feel like you just got to vent, you can do it to me. And I'm there, And then there are times that love is looking at the person and saying, you know what, you're full of crap. I'm sorry, but you're full of crap. There are times when love is telling somebody that they're lying to themselves. Or, and I'm not talking about M. Hunt, by the way. In fact, I would say that a bunch of people can probably go out on a limb. But the point is this. Sitting in this chair, you want to do everything within your power to never insult anybody. I never want to come across looking like a jackass, and you never want to be thought of as cold-hearted. But the more I think about this, and the more that I really spent a lot of time, thinking about it, concentrating, praying, I'm being more of a jackwagon by allowing it to continue. And I don't mean disrupting the show. People do 500 of them. Who cares? Right? There'll be another one. But if the purpose of this show is to help people live their best life, well, then we're going to do that. And there's going to be times that the love that it takes to do that might not be putting your arm around somebody. And we're always going to try to do it with respect, with a decent amount of love. But in similar situations, it may be a little different the next time. And I hope everybody respects that when that rears its head, because I assure you that all we ever want is what is the best for everybody. Ryan 4888. My sister wrote me a note once saying how she loved me, but I was ruining the family, and I needed that. I think I told this story on the boat before, but I had members in my family who told me their prayer used to be that if I relapsed, it would kill me, because they felt that my life was so tortured, and they that it was just something that I couldn't get by, and they would rather see me at peace than just wrestling with it the rest of my life. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Tough love is sometimes necessary. Christine, thank you. And sometimes it is. And it's never going to be a situation where, we're booting somebody out of here. But you can't sugarcoat things sometimes and get the job done effectively.
Can I add my opinion real quick? If that's okay?
Sure.
I think you said it right when you said, there's going to be times that love looks different. And, we all, when we say love, we automatically go to a good place in your mind, typically. And unfortunately, if you really love somebody, sometimes it's got to look really, really bad. And doing that, nobody likes to do that. And I know I don't want to sound like we're treating you guys like kids or anything like that, but when I talk to my kids, it's very similar. There's sometimes I can be their friend and get a problem fixed, but there's other times where I have to be that hard person, even though it's killing me on the inside. I have to let them know, hey, you're messing up. you need to stop, you need to check yourself, and you need to look around and see where you're at and what you're doing. And when you do that and you come back and talk to me, then I'll be that loving person that's gonna give you a hug right off the bat. And and that's I think that's just really how it has to be. And we try to practice what we preach, right, Tommy? So if we're gonna love people, part of loving is doing that. And we have to understand that. And I know it's hard to see it through the internet. I understand all that, because it really is. Yeah. It adds another aspect to it. And with me having my other channel, I didn't see it to this level, because we don't talk personal over on my other channel. But I seen it at a low level. So I had a kind of an idea, but this is something different, guys. This is something, when we show you love in a hard way, we're truly trying to help you get yourself help. It's just what it is. And the other thing I would say is that we're not going to let anything that gets said or done in the chat that's going to affect another person that's here, their sobriety. If it's getting to that point, then something has to be said. And it's going to be said in a loving way, and you're always welcome. It's not nothing like that. It's just, we have to do things like that because we love all you guys, not just the person we're talking about or the people we're talking about. We love all of you.
No question. No question. Seven Son, we appreciate it. Seven Son put up a super chat that says, "What's Beethoven's favorite fruit?" Banana. Well played. That's good stuff. Yeah, people, this isn't any fun, but it is necessary. And from time to time, these kind of things. We told you we were going to be sharing the inside baseball kind of stuff, and this is really part of it. Today's.
Let me, because Cheryl Barger, she has a comment there. I'm not sure if you've seen her. You probably didn't. It says, having a rough time. No, my life is in shambles right now. Hanging in. Glad you're all here. I need you. So, just didn't know if you wanted to address that at all. Talk to her for a minute or not. I don't.
Sure. Well, first of all, we're glad you're here, and we're glad that you're opening up. Feel free to click on that number on the top if it's something that you would like to talk to us. I have found very often that if I try to do this back and forth, I'm going to be about 40 seconds behind, and you're going to be about a minute behind, because we're just going to be, there's a very long delay. In fact, oftentimes I'm done here in the kitchen getting something to drink, and the show is not done yet. So it does make it a little bit tough, but please feel free to call in, and we would love to talk to you. We're glad that you're here. Everybody struggles, people. Everybody struggles, and it's absolutely normal. It is. There's nothing unusual about struggling, especially in sobriety and in rehab. In the process of getting sober, there are a lot of things that are going to cause us to have to work harder in order to stay sober. And there are going to be some things that upset us. And there are going to be some things that cause us to go, oh, poor me, which is legit. It really is. Unless it's something that you do every single day for months and months and months. You ever wonder why people do the whole self-pity thing? I did. So I started to do a little reading on it. And as it turns out, it feels fantastic. As human beings, we love it. We love the feeling of pitying ourselves. When we stop loving it, we absolutely love the concept of somebody thinking, you know what, poor Tommy. I mean, look how hard the guy's working, and, he's doing this and that. Poor Tommy. But then if you actually come to the realization that people are pitying you, you will become offended instantly. Right? Who do they think they are? I don't need their pity. It's a very, very odd thing going on in the brain with the whole self-pity and wishing other people would pity you. If you think about all of the things that we have to deal with in life, forget drugs, alcohol, and all of that, right? I mean, that's just the ×3 multiplier, right? Just let everything else go and then multiply it by 3 because we struggle with drug addiction. But just all of the things that we have to face in life, right? There's relationships. There is the fear that this is all going to end, right? There's no way no one's getting off this planet alive. So there's that. And the fact that we're a pretty fragile organism here on this planet, and you don't know how long you've got. At any second, it could be over. All of these things sort of weighing down on you. It is an absolute miracle that more people aren't
absolutely wallowing in self-pity and in depression. M. Hunt says, I was the self-pity champion, 100 times gold medal winner. Not anymore. And that's great stuff. Self-pity will absolutely keep you frozen in place. Now, whether that's you trying to get sober, whether that's you trying to move on or do anything, self-pity freezes you at exactly where you are in life. And as we've said so many times, our goal, whether in sobriety or just as human beings, is to continue to ascend and make ourselves better on a daily basis, right? To be the best you that you can be. And there are some things that you can do that really help with that, right? One thing that absolutely helps is listening to that little voice inside your head, right? I don't mean the one that says you're worthless, right? You're awful. Those are ants, right? Automatic negative thoughts. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the voice that says, dude, don't go do dope. You know, you've been sober this long, right? Why would you even think that, right? Your conscience is completely different than an automatic negative thought. And everybody has a conscience. It's a stone cold fact. Now, the vast majority of people don't listen to it, right? Plain and simple. You get that thought that says, you really shouldn't be doing this, and then you do it anyway. Cheryl Barger says, I'm losing my mom. And not just, I'm sorry?
No,
I'm losing my mom and not just handling it well. People around just don't get it. First time I spoke up, and I'm a bad person. Being still and being a doormat are two different things. It's just hard. You know, Cheryl, this is the most difficult time in anybody's life, in anybody's family, right? Family dynamics are never more difficult than when someone is passing. And what's the absolute worst is when it is either the patriarch or matriarch of the family. Because for the longest period of time, we have all been looking to mom, or we have all been looking to dad, right? There has always been that support in our family. That was my dad, right? The moose was the pillar that held up the family. And he was the rock that we sort of looked to. And when he passed away, you know, instantly there's a vacuum. And whether we want to or not, everybody sort of starts vying for position for who's going to then be the go-to person in the family. And it may be subconscious, but everybody starts to do that. Like everything else, Cheryl, I don't have the answers for this. I don't. When my father died, I was an absolute wreck. You know, the people that were, you know, stood by my side through it can tell you I was a wreck. An absolute wreck. But the one thing that I took away from my father's death is that whether it's death, whether it's fidelity or infidelity, whether it's anything, communication is the key to everything in life. And if you start the communication with, you know what, I love mom too, you know, everybody's on edge. Every nerve is going to be completely raw and worn down to the nub. And when that is the case, the smallest things can set you off. I remember when my grandfather died, the person whose job it was to deliver him to the funeral home and the casket was 4 minutes late. And every single person in my dad's side of the family exploded at once. They didn't give a crap that he was 4 minutes late. What difference does it make if you're 4 minutes late to your own funeral? Right? Everybody's waiting. You're cool. They had a meltdown because they were all waiting for that one thing that they could rage at. It could have been cold French fries at McDonald's. It could have been the first yellow light that was just not yellow long enough and we all had to stop. It could have been anything. And very often I think that you speak up and it's the very first thing that someone is looking for to rage. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Did somebody call in?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, thought I heard a voice. I'm sorry. Heather, good to see you. Mary Murphy, good to see you. So that's a very difficult thing. Cheryl, it really is. And my heart goes out to you. It's
and I would say this too, Tommy, that guys,
Sure.
listen, you know, when we're dealing with death, I really do think that is one of the most personal things when in relation to a situation being different from one another. because almost every situation in death is different. It's going to touch different family dynamics. It's going to be this, that. I mean, there's so many variables with that. So it's really hard to put a blanket like, hey, you do this and it's going to help, and Tommy, you hit the, if I was going to put a blanket statement on anything, it is that feeling of waiting. You need to release. And that's what they're waiting for, that release, looking for a reason to let it out. And if I was to ask you, I haven't asked you this, but I bet they all felt better after that, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Hey, you see,
no question.
You see, it was that release, and that's kind of what I'm saying. So, anyway.
And oddly enough, I had a brother-in-law there at the time who stood up and said, "Hey, you know what? The guy that's driving that, you don't know why he's 4 minutes late, man. Something awful could have happened for him. Maybe you guys should calm down." Let me see. That was June of 1990. And I don't know that anybody's gotten over it, which lets you know that when the nerves are that raw, it is the most difficult time for anybody to try to work anything out. Patrick, said, "Hey, Tommy, I emailed you last week and you responded. I apologize for not responding back. You know something? No harm, no foul, man. You're good. There's lots of emails coming both directions, and you know what? Just fire another one back, and we'll start up the communication." I had a lot of people who have emailed us in the last 2 or 3 days. If I have not gotten to you, I will. I promise. I was catching up last night, but I kid you not, there were hundreds, and I'm sure with other channels they can just give you a thumbs up and keep cruising. But I want to make sure that
I want to say thank you for
going on in someone's life,
for handling that yesterday too, guys. I dropped that on him at the last second because I did not even know it was happening. My kids surprised me and my wife, just so you know. And Tommy did an awesome job just stepping in and doing what he did. It was an awesome show. I went back and watched it. As a matter of fact, I caught like 5 minutes of it live. But it was, you guys, it was a good show last night. And thank you guys for being here for him and me. And Tommy, thank you for handling that. So.
Yeah, no problem at all. And I figure 29 years from now, I'll let you do it again. Cheryl says, people don't think I'm not okay because I got 31 years and I'm beyond relapse. Been the strong one way too long. Wrong. I could go back today if I don't surround myself with people like me. 31 means nada. Boy, I hope everybody, he says Tommy is echoing. There's not much I can do on my end for that. So is everyone else hearing that too? Can I get a 5x5 if you can hear me? Cheryl, great comment. Truthfully, that is an amazing comment because you're absolutely right. Whether you're 30 days sober or whether you're 30 years sober, the temptation is the same. And when you get to the lowest points in life where the biggest challenges to your sobriety are going to come up, it doesn't make you a rock. You're not rock solid because of 31 years. You absolutely need to surround yourself with the right people and reach out if you find yourself, getting the old familiar thoughts, and they can happen. You're right. I mean, it's such a great comment. It really is such an amazing, amazing comment. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That really is so cool. Leisure says that's better. Thank you, Mark. Patrick says I need to get sober. Patrick, then I insist you do email me again. Okay. Please reach out to me, or you can call in right now if you want. But if it's something that you want to do private, then please email me, and we'd love to talk about taking the next steps to making this happen. It's a very small window, my man, and this goes for everybody. I had this conversation with somebody else from the boat today on the telephone. It is a small window, people. When your brain says, yeah, I really want to quit, that is a thought that goes away so fast. Why? Because two thoughts can't occupy the same space at the same time. And very often it's going to get pushed out of the way by, hey, our pills are ready at the pharmacy, or a thought like that. And then it's all over.
Yeah.
Cheryl says it's why I'm here with you wonderful people. And they are wonderful people. Make no mistake. We got some of the best people ever here in the crew. Does anyone else find that the opposite of that, for me being around drunk people, reminded me of the bad and helped me? Heather, I've heard this from other people. In fact, I've heard it very often from other people. But what they usually will say is in very small doses. In other words, if they see somebody, really polluted, kind of acting stupid, it'll make them think, boy, you know what? Thank God I'm not in that life anymore. But if that, lingers on for 5 or 6 minutes, they're usually looking and then saying, let's get out of here. I don't feel like, visiting this that long. But no, I've heard other addicts say that before. Absolutely.
Steve's on the line too.
Hey guys.
Hey, Steve.
Steve, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine. I was a little scared earlier this week when I was really, really, really tempted to throw away my sobriety.
Yep. Did the right thing though, right? He reached out to someone that cares.
Yep.
And it worked, right? Here you are, still sober, fighting the good fight. And you know what? The first year is the toughest year. Anybody that's been sober for any length of time is going to tell you that. That first year is a tough one to get through. It really is. But over the course of the first year of sobriety, so many of the things that you're going to face in the rest of your life are going to happen, right? How many really, truthfully unique things happen to us in life, right? Every year we go through the same things over and over again. It's just different go around. But that first time, it's the first year of football season. It's the first year of the Super Bowl. It's the first year of Christmas. It's the first year. And all of those firsts are very, very difficult to get through. And I promise you it gets easier, brother. You just got to keep fighting the good fight. And if you get that feeling ever again, please do what you did. Reach out to somebody and
it's kind of like what we talk about.
A lot of people that help you.
We talk about with the, creating new memories and all that stuff. It really is that. And, I was thinking about that the other night too. And, I was thinking so hard on it. I went to, when I'm creating new memories for myself, and I'm trying to build trust with people that I love. Because this question came up here on the lifeboat not too long ago. When we're trying to build trust, sometimes what do we got to do? You got to make people see you when you're doing the right thing. You don't have to blast it out, but there's ways of doing things so people see it, and you want to do those things because you're never ever going to get to the level of trust that you had at the beginning of a relationship. That is gone, guys. You can get to a step below it, and I would have to say this, that I wouldn't want that complete trust. I don't know how Tommy feels about that or not, but it adds a level of accountability to me because I know that they're going to at least have a small question. It might not come out all the time, but it's going to be there. And so I better be doing the right thing or they're going to call me on it. And that's just kind of how I look at it. And I think that when we're creating new memories for ourselves throughout holidays, birthdays, and all these things that we did when we were high, we have to recognize that the people that are around us have to do the same thing with us. And that's something we haven't talked about. We have to let those people create new memories with us there so they can at least put to the side a little bit who we were. They have to be able to see you in that status. You can't, you can't ignore that. As often as we try to create new memories for ourselves, we're doing it for ourselves, obviously, but they need to see you do it because it helps them also. And part of healing yourself is healing the people that love you. And if you can do anything about that, that's just what I would suggest. It's going to suck going to the first Christmas. It's going to suck going to the first birthday party. But you know what? When you get enough courage to go out and do it, eventually, guess what? You will start getting those small dopamine releases just by watching somebody smile, your kid across the table.
True story.
So,
and knowing that people are, knowing that, you're no longer, the thought on everyone's mind. Oh, good Lord, Tommy's going to show up here and he's going to be nodding or he's going to be wasted or any of those things. There was a great comment from Aaron who said, thoughts and prayers for the people of Mexico today after that huge earthquake, and to the people of Puerto Rico due to Hurricane Fiona. And also, if we could get prayers for Blue, who Dazbug says she's the pressure change is really giving her a headache. So if you could, if you guys could keep that in mind. We're killing it on prayers, thoughts, and energy around here on the lifeboat. We're killing it.
Heck yeah.
We really are.
Yep.
Our batting average is really good right now, people. So let's just keep that up. So once again, if you saw the subject tonight, the concept of getting over it, there's something fascinating to the fact that anytime we get something like an earthquake that happens, or we get something like 9/11, a plane crash, anything where a great number of people are all affected by the exact same thing at the same time. It's a very odd study on humanity that always there's going to be a certain percentage of them that crawl into a bottle, whether that be a pill bottle or a booze bottle, a fifth or whatever. There's always going to be a certain segment of that population that retreats into themselves through the use of chemicals. And then there's always going to be a certain segment of the people who are affected by this, who are just going to trudge on with life and do whatever they can. And then there is always a group of people who say, I got to do something about this. And it's fascinating. And if you want to do a little deep dive on this, spend a little time looking at how these people fare after, say, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 21 years, right? And what you find is the people that make not just the best of a bad situation, but use it as a way to say, this is never going to happen again on my watch, or I'm going to do everything in my damn power to make sure this doesn't happen again. Someone is going to pay for what just happened, right? Anybody that's able to turn something and make a mission out of it usually heals better than the next. And this shouldn't be a shock, right? This should make sense. Why do you think that is? Well, two reasons that jump out the page. And if you pay any attention to me, they should jump out the page at you. Number one, you can't be concentrating on wallowing in self-pity if you're concentrating on moving forward and doing something. Those two thoughts can't exist at the same time, right? The second is that anytime you start taking on a mission, if that mission is, I don't want to see anybody else go to prison. I don't want to watch anybody else become a drug addict. I would like to help as many people as I possibly can who are addicted to opiates, like my partner and I have done, right? Or whatever the mission happens to be. You are going to end up with a ton of connections, points of connectivity, right? You're going to have all of these new people that you're meeting and all of these new subject matters that you're researching, and you're too busy, right? You're too busy to sit and wallow. There is something that I want to bring up that I read that really jumped off the page at me. I know we have people here that are dealing with loss. And like I said, some people get over it they don't get over it, right? Some people learn to live with it in a short period of time. Some people don't. And some people never learn to live with it. But I was reading some really fascinating stuff on PTSD from some people that came back from war. And a lot of times these guys can't get out of their own way. And a lot of it has to do with guilt. Massive amounts of guilt, right? They call it survivor guilt. The fact that they came home, but their friend didn't. It becomes something that really plagues these people. But the ones that seem to be able to get over that and move on often do it by saying, I tried looking at myself through my friend's eyes. What kind of tribute are you making to your friends or loved ones by being miserable the rest of your life? Truthfully. Do you think the loved one that you lost would be happy with that as a concept? Seriously, nothing would bum them out more. But what happens, and this is another phenomenon, what happens is, as we start to learn to live with it, guilt creeps in. And we start thinking, you know what, I shouldn't be able to go on with my life. I shouldn't, right? I just lost the most important person in my life. I should be miserable at least another 5 or 6 years, right? You feel like you're abandoning your friend by allowing a smile to get on your face. You feel like somehow you're spitting on your loved one's memory if you manage to laugh. Please take the time to try to view yourself through the eyes of the person you've lost. Because I assure you, they would want you laughing, they would want you smiling, they would want you learning to live with it. And again, no one ever gets over anything like this.
Right.
You know, you don't. I'm not over my dad, but I most assuredly have learned to live with it. And Mark says to me all the time, my brother says to me all the time, I'll be doing something with watches or whatever, and someone would say, you know what, I bet your old man would be proud of you. You know, or the fact that my dad was a big watch guy. And about once a week, someone will say, boy, he would just been loving this. You know, a watch on every flat surface, he would have just been happier than hell. And I really do try to sort of view myself through his eyes. And I know that my father would be livid if he thought that I was moping around instead of trying to move forward. You know?
Yep.
It
100. We got Brandon's in here, I think. I'm gonna unmute you, Brandon. Okay.
Which Brandon do we have?
I don't know. It just says Brandon. We're gonna find out.
Alrighty.
So if you're ready to talk, Brandon, all you gotta do is unmute yourself. But we can keep moving until he does that. So
Okay then.
I think Major's in here too. If you want, let him in real quick.
Sure. Chi-Chi said, Papa Scoville was a great man and he did a great job on his children because you guys do amazing things to make him smile every day. What a beautiful thing to say, Chi-Chi.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That's a beautiful thing to say. Freedom Fighter, good to see you, my friend. Did you say
I'm
we're
gonna
the
go
major
ahead and
here?
hop off.
Okay, Steve.
Seventh, we love you, bud.
Hey,
And well done this
yes,
week, man. We're proud of you.
I wanted to say that.
Love you guys.
Yeah, I want to just back Tommy up on that. That is such an awesome job doing what you did there. You know,
Huge.
it shows where you're at in your recovery. It really does. So,
Absolutely huge.
but yeah,
And read what everybody said in the comments, man. It's going to get easier for you. It really does. That first year is the toughest.
Yep.
You're never going to regret it.
100%, guys. Brandon, are you? Yeah, I think you're unmuted now, bud. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing, bud?
Hi, this is Brandon Taylor.
Hey.
Brandon Taylor, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic.
Living it,
Thank
buddy.
you so much for calling in and welcome to the lifeboat.
Good. I just wanted to call in and tell the boat I love them. Every one of them.
That's awesome, man. I mean,
Just
That really
like I
is.
love you for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
You become a really, really integral part of what we do here. It really have. I mean, like a lot of other people here too. I'm not want to say that against the people. It's just,
No.
yeah. I mean, you're very active, and it really does. Just know that the fact that you share helps people. It really does.
No question. No question.
It's the biggest thing you can do for others is to show them that they're not the only ones going through it. And just calling in
You
and
have been
saying,
so honest. I mean, you've been so honest with what you've been going through. And the one of the nice things about the lifeboat is that we can come here and we can, hi, how you doing? I robbed a bunch of banks and I was a gun runner and I've had 20 felonies, and I mean, we just lay it out there. Owning your past and the things that you've done. This is one of the few places in the world where you really can do that. But you have, and I guarantee you don't realize how many people are going to end up getting help because it's not going to be silent. And I think that's huge, man. Mad respect for you. I remember the day you posted it.
yes.
I'm glad. Thank you guys for your help. It's always appreciated, as I always say. Very much so. Thank you to everybody on the boat that has been there for me. I mean, you can't name them all. Can
Hey,
No, take a minute.
you see me and
Really can't.
you see me and Tommy trying to do that a lot. We never get there. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah, take the whole show and we'd still leave somebody out. They'd be really butthurt.
Yep.
Brandon, I love you, bud. I really do. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And we're proud of you. And I know that fiance of yours is proud too. And that's just great stuff, man. Really
That's
is
all I'm
great
here
stuff.
for.
I love it.
Hey, Brandon.
Oh,
I really do. I love it.
Brandon, hang here for a minute. I want to get your opinion on something, if it's okay.
Okay.
And I haven't talked to Tommy
Yeah.
about this. I want to get his opinion too. What do you guys think?
Okay.
What do you guys think about the DA the Delta 8 stuff. What's your opinion on that?
I'm not sure I know what
It's
Delta 8
it's
stuff.
the it's like a knockoff of weed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's because Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol would be
Yeah.
THC. This is a like a step down version of it.
Yeah.
My thing has been across the board with any of those sort of knockoff drugs is that they fly under the radar until they don't. And then once they show up on the radar, they get shut down and they no longer can sell them.
Right.
So in the process, there's no Food and Drug Administration in the beginning to make sure the product is safe. And then once they do step all over them and shut them down, the product already has an audience. So things like Spice and all of those, now they're getting sold out the back door and guys are making them in their basement. I mean, now it's really bootleg. I fear anything that doesn't have regulation.
Right.
That's kind of my thought on it.
Yeah, and Brandon, what do you think about that? And do you have an opinion on that? You don't have to give it if you don't want to. I mean, I get it.
I just don't know that I know enough about the substance to really have a huge opinion on it, to be honest with you.
That's a good answer.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. That usually doesn't stop anyone in this country from having an opinion.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
I've heard the name. That's about all I know.
I love that. Seriously, what a great answer.
And again, I've never done it either, but we have somebody on the boat that has, and they were asking me in the background. I'm not going to say who it was or anything, but I don't know how that feels, right? I don't know what that actually makes you feel like. Does it really get you to where the full THC does? Or is it a step down from that? Does it make you feel something different? These are the questions I have. I don't know enough about it either. And that's kind of why I'm kind of bringing it up. You know
what frightens me is, if you name a drug, for the most part, I can say, this is the active ingredient. This is what it does to you. When you get to Spice, right? Yeah. I can say, I can give you the 3 initials of the man that started this. And there are over 200 recipes that he came up with that just have his initials. I can't tell you what they do in the body. I can't tell you if it's floor stripper. And honestly, because it's not that far off on some of them. So Delta 9 is weaker than marijuana, says Flamin' Jackson.
Delta 8, yeah, I think it's. Yeah,
Delta 8 Delta 8, sorry, is weaker than marijuana. It's frightening to me once again because I don't know what the active ingredient is. I understand THC.
Right.
It makes sense to me. Even when you start really hopping it up, right? When you go from, the brickweed we used to smoke in high school to the dabs and the things that people are doing now, I understand that you're getting a much stronger version of the same substance. Whether you're talking about fentanyl or whether you're talking about heroin or any other opiate, I get it. I understand that. It makes sense to me. But when you say, well, it's the stuff that you smoke, well, what's the ingredient? I don't know. In fact, if you buy it at 5 different places, it's not even the same flower. Well, that scares the hell out of me. So what you mean is they're spraying something on anything that you can then smoke.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that smacks of PCP to me more than it does THC.
And that's kind of where I was going too. I just didn't know if I was the only one feeling that way. And that's, guys, we say this all the time. We learn more from you guys than we do from our own research most of the time. There's nothing that beats real life experience, guys. So just so you know. Speaking
of which, 7th says it gives a mellow high about 70% from pot. Okay. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is have to do a little research on it, which will not be empirical, but I will read a bunch about it. I don't intend to go out and buy any because that phase of my life is over. But I will research the crap out of this because I think it would be an interesting one to do a subject on. Major, hit that button and try to call in again.
Yeah.
So because we've had a couple of people call in, so obviously it's working right now.
He was in here, and just he left. I'm not sure if he could get his audio working. His video was on. You guys seen that for a split second. I had to shut it off. So, but he was still in there after that, so I'm not sure what's going on with his audio. But yeah. So just click the areas again. He's trying again. Okay. Let's try to get him in here. Brandon, if you don't want to stick around, you don't have to, or you can. So
hey, Brandon,
up to you, bud.
Love you, brother. I'm so glad that you're on this boat. I really am. As Mark said, I mean, you talk about just assimilating fast, and I love watching you develop. right? Because just the level of confidence from the dude that sent me the first emails to where you are now, it's beautiful.
Trying.
It really is. Now you're doing
11
great.
days from the P word and the M word, both.
I love it.
I say that both is important in that statement.
Awesome
Huge,
stuff,
man.
buddy. Awesome
It
stuff,
really is.
man.
Thank you
huge.
guys.
Yep.
Love you both.
Yep, back at you,
Yeah,
bud.
love you, man. Yep, love
Back
you
at
for
you.
real.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
Awesome.
Major, I don't
Awesome.
know if your video was on again. You're still here. I'm not sure what you got to do to get your audio working, bud. 'Cause I'm not seeing a microphone. I see a video camera, but I got that shut off.
Hello.
Are you there?
Oh, I heard
There
something.
you are. There you are.
Hello.
There you
Yeah,
are.
hi. Oh, sorry.
Hey,
sorry.
how are you?
I'm not, well, that's that's an awkward one. I'm good now. I can actually speak with you guys. So,
Cool. Glad to have you here,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Because sometimes what you say in text doesn't come across as what you're saying.
Yep.
You know what I mean. So things can be slightly misconstrued. So I just want to say I hope I'm not doing the wrong impression in any way. But I am struggling big time because of the problems that I'm going through. I'm not sure that they're actually drink problems. I think it's actually associated with loss. And this is what may have triggered me the other day with, your counsellor. She was a gorgeous, beautiful woman. So strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cindy is.
Yeah. And it just brought stuff back. And well, it's not a cop out. And no, I'm not here attention seeking. I just I don't know. I just want to talk to people the same.
Yeah, people with demons, right? We've all got them.
Yeah, we get that. For sure.
She obviously cares a great deal for you, which I think is awesome, right? She, it's no matter where you are in life, it's really a beautiful thing to know that there's somebody out there that cares. And I think the internet, in its purest form, what this was designed to do, if you ever read any of the stories of them when they first started talking about this and realized that computers could be hooked up to places all over the world, this was their dream. Their dream was people from other cultures realizing how much more we are alike than different, and using this technology to shrink the world and to try to elevate one another. Instead, it has been a way to compare ourselves with other people, and comparison is the thief of joy, right? So it has been something that is just morphed into an abomination in a lot of ways. But there are a lot of people that care about you, brother.
Lots.
There really are.
Lots of people, man. We get a lot of people saying a lot of good things, and a lot of concern for you a lot of times, man. It's
I find that difficult to accept. That's probably the thing.
I can see that. Yeah.
I get that.
Yep. I really do.
That's not unique to you, brother. That is a very, very difficult thing. It once again, our brain is really designed to do. We ask it to do things it's not designed to do. For real. What our brain is excellent at is compartmentalizing things and putting them into different categories. It's awesome at that. When we wanted to start doing other things outside of that, it doesn't work so well. So we end up not liking ourselves, especially if we're coming off of drugs and alcohol. We end up not liking ourselves. So we come to believe that no one else should. You know how we say you should do unto others the way you would like to do unto yourself? I think that really what you need to do, you would never treat somebody that you just met on the street as bad as you would treat yourself. And I mean human beings. I don't mean you in particular.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, no, you would never, ever treat you the way, if you met someone else on the street, hey, how you doing? You show them nothing but respect and you care. And if you say you're going to be there at 2:00, you're going to be there at 2:00 and all of these things. But when it comes to ourselves, we don't do that. And, there's a great adage that no one will ever love you more than you love yourself. So one of the things that, the second season here on the Lifeboat has been largely about, because a lot of us have got a little sobriety under the belt now, or, we're sort of trying to move and continue climbing that ladder. And one of those things is learning to love yourself again. Because if you don't, it's really hard to find people that are going to love you more than you love yourself. But I know it's hard to believe, but there are a lot of people out here that would do anything to help you.
Yeah. I'm gonna hey, Major. Aaron's in here too.
Can I speak? Can I just speak with yourself for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
No, take me off air, please, and speak with Mark. Maybe I don't know. Just a sec, because I've just had some. Oh, it doesn't matter. No, go on. No, I don't.
No, we're good.
No.
Mark, can you get him personally, or can you send him a text of a number?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm good. It's okay. Sorry.
Are you sure, Major?
Yeah,
we're more than happy to talk to you, man.
Major, this show ends in 5 minutes. I know you have my email. There's a number on the way to you. Call me as soon as you get it.
My apologies for.
Don't apologize. You got no reason to apologize.
Yeah, nothing to apologize for, man.
Ain't no reason to apologize, brother. Apology not accepted because there wasn't a reason for it.
You know,
right? I'm gonna shoot you. I'll shoot you a number. You call it as soon as the show ends. Just give me a call.
Okay, mate.
All right, bud.
Okay, thank you.
See you, bud.
I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Chi-Chi says you got to look in the mirror, look in the eyes of the person looking back, and then smile at him or her. It's you. It's exactly right, Chi-Chi. It really is. That's exactly what it is.
Aaron's in here. I believe he's unmuted now. How you doing, Aaron?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Doing okay, bud. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys. So,
like the comment about Mexico, Aaron. Appreciate that.
oh, of course, yeah. I was gonna say this is a little off topic, but I do just want to mention that recently, since I saw this sort of Narcan box on just the side of the road recently, just literally posted to a building in a very heavy downtown big city type area. But I have been seeing more stuff for fentanyl test kits and Narcan stuff that you can literally grab for free out of boxes on sides of the road. And I've also heard of things like the Narcan vending machines and other stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to know sort of what your thoughts about that are.
And
I'm also,
go ahead.
I don't know about the vending machines, but I don't know if you have to pay for that. And that seems like that might be a risk.
Right?
Yeah.
Having somebody laying there dead because they didn't have the money for it.
It's funny.
That's a frightening thought.
It's funny you bring this up because Tommy just sent me a capture of wasn't it like a first aid kit and it had Narcan in it?
Well, it's sort of a first aid kit, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. And the one that I saw, I don't think was put up by the state either. I think that this was something that the local building owners put up because it's an area where there's a lot of overdoses. And in this I sent the picture to Mark. There was 3 or 4 boxes of Narcan inhalers. Inside there as well, they had fentanyl test strips. Like this is people stepping up to the plate to try to save lives. And what they're doing is illegal in many cases, right? Putting these things out there or having safe sites. Whenever a government fails to protect or fails to execute in some way, people are going to step up to the plate and do it, whether it's legal or illegal. And that is the natural. And that's Aaron. That's what I would say is that I feel like if the government's not going to handle this, if we're going to be looking at 300,000 people instead of 150,000, I don't know if you saw the show where I was talking about it, but they said that the overdose from fentanyl is up 160%, and we're going to see 30,000 more deaths this year. How could it be up 160%? Right? We had more than 100,000 die last year. 160% means not 30%.
Right.
And I don't know whether they think we're not listening or what it is, but if they're not going to do something about it, I'm glad someone is.
You know, Brandon, this is such a great topic, man. I don't care if we hopped off or not. This is a good one. And Miss V, she makes something very valid here. Our tent cities could use that. Oh my gosh.
Question.
I mean, could you imagine the amount of lives that would be saved if these were on every corner in Kensington or Skid Row? I mean, could you imagine? Now, most of those people down there probably have Narcan at the ready now. I get that because they're in that life. But there are going to be those that don't, and that needs to be there and accessible.
You know what, V? That's a great comment.
It is.
No joke. That is a great comment. And, we have a pretty good size tent city here in town, I don't know. Maybe that's a drum I can beat. You know what I'm saying?
I'll help you beat that drum.
That's pretty good stuff.
Whatever
Yeah.
I can do. Heck yeah.
Hey, Brittany has eyes. Good to see you, Brittany.
Yeah, Aaron, I mean, as far as my opinion on all that, I think you're probably hearing it. Any and everything we can do to make that stuff as accessible as we possibly can is what we should be doing. And Tommy made the point. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I say one more thing?
Go for it.
Sure.
Yeah, I did. I was looking through the comments, and I won't say the person's name. I don't think he's a regular watcher, or it might have been one of the YouTube shorts.
Okay.
But the person basically said you should basically tell people to go to rehab or clinics and all this. And I saw your response that said rehabs are, I don't know, not sufficient and they're too expensive for most of the people in that lifestyle. And I think that was totally the right response, because I think a lot of people, I don't know, don't want to, I don't know, but I don't know the right way to say
Aaron,
it.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because it's a great point. And I did a little research, because you understand that platitudes are what's killing people.
Yeah.
It's very easy for people to say, you know what, they don't need, they should just go to and get into rehab to go get help. They shouldn't go to a YouTube channel. They should just go check into a rehab. The city of Los Angeles, we're all familiar with that. Pretty good sized city. You know how many open beds they have right now for opiate addicts? Available beds today, 21.
Yeah.
A city the size of LA has 21 beds. So I would love for every single person who needs help to go and get it from a doctor in a clinical setting. But I was a heroin addict long enough to know that ain't gonna happen.
They're not
walking in there. No way.
They're not gonna get help unless they want to get help, guys. And truly,
And even if they want to get help, that's too much commitment in the beginning. It scares the hell out of them. Please, Aaron.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I don't know. I think that guy realistically probably has never seen anything more than maybe just that YouTube short or a couple minutes of one of the videos. But
Right.
I think what you guys are doing is huge, because I think one of the big things is community. Because I mean, I've quit weed. I've had to do certain things, but none of them were ever very drastic compared to heroin or something much harder. But I think definitely community is the big thing, and being able to actually go to people and have the family you can go to, especially when, like you said, you might have family members who would say horrible things like, potentially, I hope this next time it kills you or ends your life or something. I think that can be really tough, but I think that's why it's good that you guys do have this community. I think, I don't know, more people should value that. And
you're in this community, brother. You're a big
Yeah,
part
no
of
question.
it, man.
You're part of this community.
I mean,
and you know, I'm not sure if you caught the name of that person that left the comment, but I couldn't say that person's name out loud. The avatar, right? Their channel name, I couldn't say out loud. If I can't say your channel name out loud on my channel, I'm already a little bummed out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't want to see a name of a channel that is designed to offend.
Yeah,
It's too short for that crap.
Yeah.
Free speech is great. Don't get me wrong, but just to be mean, it's no good.
yeah, exactly.
No spots for that.
Exactly. That's some great stuff there, Aaron. Really, honestly,
Oh.
thank you for calling in
Yeah.
and doing that. I mean,
So funny too, because not only were you and I just talking about this, but I had a today on Messenger 7th sent me a picture of a vending machine with Narcan in it. So this is real. When I said back, I don't know, months ago, coming to a city near you, it is.
yes, it most
People
certainly.
lose family, friends, possessions, everything to addiction. So having an online group that virtually anyone can connect is vital. Yes, this community is priceless. Thank you so much, Brittany. You know something? Here's my thing. I spent a lot of time addicted to heroin. And walking through the door of a rehab center is shoving all of your chips into the middle of the table. That is all in.
Yep.
Right? And the average addict ain't ready to do that. It's bottom line. They'll dip their toe into it, right? They would like to try a little bit of rehab and see whether or not it's going to get me sick. But they're not. It feels a lot like prison to a heroin addict when they walk into rehab.
It sure
So-
does. Yeah.
It does. And even with the 23 beds that they have in LA, I bet that it's not going to fill up. because it is one of those things that it's not a great business model. I wish it were, but you have to gain the trust of people. You know, you get people here and you talk to them and you can say, look, you know what, for 30 years, look, I've been through rehabs. They're not what you think, right? It isn't jail. These people are going to do everything they can to make sure you don't hurt. And that's really what we're trying to do, is get people here where we can get them some information and hopefully some help.
And that's exactly what we're doing. And I think, you know, and how we're getting help now, guys, and this is no kidding. It is doing what we're doing with the call-in stuff. I mean, and it's case in point what me and Tommy want you guys to really do. If you have a different subject, come in here and tell us. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we've talked about almost every subject multiple times throughout the course of our existence here on YouTube. And, you know, we're always going to have something new to add probably to this because there's so much with it, right? But these subjects that you guys want to talk about, we don't necessarily know that you want to talk about it. So please call in and let us know. Don't be afraid to jump completely to the other side of the street. It ain't going to offend any of us. So thank you, Aaron, for doing that.
No, you know, and that's, I think very few places on YouTube have I seen anything where somebody says, hey, this is the subject I'd like to hear on your show, and 2 days later it's here. But we really have tried to research what you guys have asked about and get them turned into shows.
Yep. And we are at the top, Tommy, if you want to try to wrap it down there. Aaron already left out of the chat. So thanks for calling in, Aaron. I appreciate you, bud.
Yep. Appreciate all of you for calling in. I am going to jump on a call here with somebody from the other side of the pond. You know what to do.
Yep.
When you see me disappear off of this, then pick up the phone and give me a call, and we'll talk one-on-one. Alrighty, everybody. We're going to be back tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm sure we're going to be doing something fun. Right?
That's right.
No question.
Hey.
So between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. It's a great thing to do. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and on the other side of the glass,
Mark Wages.
and there's never a doubt, cat in the basket. Good night, everybody. We love you.